Hello, my name is Joyce-Anne Anthony, aka JJ, and I am a 2D digital artist that uses mainly Photoshop, Procreate, and most recently Blender to create my illustrations. I say most recently because as you see these animations, these were all drawn in Procreate. And as much as I love Procreate, I wanted to learn how to mix 2D and 3D animation. And that's when I found out about Blender. And then in between all that time, I made a YouTube channel. First off, I just recently reached over 1,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much to everyone who has supported me throughout these past 3 years. It really means a lot. When I started this channel 3 years ago, I really didn't have a plan. I just got my iPad. Shout out to my dad for getting it for me for my birthday, and I had that and Photoshop, and I was just showing that's my favorite video, the Afrofuturism, but I was just uploading videos for fun. I didn't know anything about SEO, the algorithm, or anything like that. And during these past 3 years, I have learned a lot. And I wanted to share the top 7 things that I've learned. There's so much more, but I just wanted to go over the top 7 things and hopefully help you on your YouTube journey. When I say find the balance, what I mean is finding the balance of videos that you actually are passionate about and want to make, and videos that your audience wants to watch. That's what I really didn't understand when I started this YouTube channel. I was just making videos that I loved, which is great, but I wasn't looking at my analytics. I wasn't taking into consideration what videos were, like as you can see, the sports videos of the Procreate time-lapse of the footballers, that was doing quite well. I should have maybe doubled down on that. So about 2 years ago, I finally kind of started understanding, and that is when I published my first video ever with Blender of this animation that I was making. And as you can see, that is a lot more views than the rest of my videos, which have like 3, 4, and 5. So I was like, okay, these Blender animation videos are going to do a lot better. So slowly but surely, it took a while for me to get it, but I finally started to post more Blender videos while still doing my Procreate time lapses. That's what I mean about finding the balance. So I love 2D animation and I was still using Procreate, but I was noticing the Blender was getting more views. So how about I double down on the Blender to create the balance of what I'm passionate about, 2D animation, and what the audience likes, which there's a huge Blender community. So it was just finding the balance of those two to create a successful channel. Hopefully that makes sense. Do you guys remember the email that was sent last November about the changes of YouTube's terms of service? I remember glancing at this, and I remember seeing the second bullet point, which is YouTube's right to monetize. So YouTube has the right to monetize all content on the platform, and ads may appear on videos from channels not in the YouTube Partner Program. I didn't think much of it because at the time, this was of course a couple months ago, I did not have 1,000 subscribers. My public watch hours were closer to 1,000 than what it is right now. So I didn't think that this email about YouTube's right to monetize had anything to do with me. I was sadly mistaken. So one day I was on my YouTube channel and I scrolled down to my most popular video on my channel to date because I was in awe and I was so grateful. And then I think at the time I had 10,000 views and I clicked on it, and that's when I saw that they placed ads on this video and I did not get a cent of it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was discouraged, but I'm not gonna give up. And that leads into lesson number 3. I kind of had to give myself like a pep talk not to be discouraged and give up, because at the time, like I said, I was only at 1,000 watch hours and I still need 3,000, which seems daunting, but not to give up because YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. And it was around this time I wanted to learn more about SEO and keywords, and this is when I learned about Catherine Manning, who is a YouTuber, and there's one video specifically that I thought was perfect. And the video is called How to Make YouTube Your Full-Time Job, which I would like to do one day. But about halfway through the video, what she talks about is gaining an audience and why do people want to come to your channel? Yes, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, and that means that there's a lot of videos about the things that you want to talk about. So how do you compete? How do you make yourself stand out? What she says is either be different, be the first, or be the best. And I was like, wow, that is really well said. And then I went into my analytics more and I learned about keywords. So when you go to your analytics page, if you scroll down a little bit and you go to see more and then click the traffic source and then scroll down a little bit to under traffic source, I click on YouTube search. So this shows you what terms viewers searched when they found my content. So this is really important to look at these keywords because I get majority of my traffic from YouTube search. When I mean get to the point, so I'm gonna do a case study on my most popular video. So when I mean get to the point is when your title, use the keywords like I showed you previously in your title. So I use grease pencil, and at the time there was last October there was a new feature from Blender about the add-on, so I'm making sure that I add that, and then I have the Blender 2.91 to show the audience what specific version of Blender that I'm using is in your description. You want to get to the point of what your video is about as soon as possible, so I didn't really do a good job of that. But if you go to the video under me, he did an excellent job of putting the grease pencil add-on in his description, like in the first sentence, because as you can see, YouTube made that bold, so to help people searching for it see it as soon as possible. So what I mean is making sure that you use these keywords that we were shown in the previous lesson, making sure you add that in your first sentence if you can in your YouTube videos. I've learned so much from this community, this YouTube community. Like Catherine Manning, I talked about her previously. I learned about SEO and analytics from her. And I learned from Pablo, who works for Blender and does a Blender Today every week. I really learned about engaging with your audience and introducing new features in a clear and concise way. What I learned from Sophie, who also talks about the grease pencil and Blender 2D, I learned about how to bring a unique perspective to your audience. Like all of her videos, they're like things I'm like, whoa, I didn't even think about that. It's very unique. I could go on, but I've learned so much from just watching YouTube videos and other excellent creators. Staying consistent on YouTube is so important. Like Sam Does Art, every week you see that he has a video up, and I truly believe YouTube rewards you for that. But I also mean consistency in other areas too. I also mean it in consistency in font and consistency in color scheme. So if you look at Olaf's, he has a consistent font in all of his videos, and I think for me like a consistent color scheme. I've noticed a lot of reds, yellows, just warm colors in his video thumbnails. For my personal YouTube account, I use 2 different fonts, and then if I scroll down and show you my most popular uploads, about 1.5 years ago, I was trying to figure out how to stand out. And if you look at a bunch of thumbnails, they're very busy, they're very bright, which is great, but like how would I stand out? So I tried to go for like a minimalist approach. I just had, as you can see, my most popular videos just have a white background. I have what version of Blender at the top, and then at the bottom, kind of just use keywords in the thumbnail. And I feel like that's helped me a lot. So again, you're always trying to figure out how you can stand out from the crowd. And this is just a time lapse of me creating the thumbnail image. Enjoy the ride. What a ride these past 3 years have been. Like I said, I started this just as a hobby, just as some place I could put my artwork, the time lapses of my artwork, and it's grown to be so much more. The community, the people that I met, I had no idea of what this could be. And I'm so thankful to all the comments, good or bad, the critiques. It helps me become a better artist, because at the end of the day, that's my goal. So again, I just want to thank, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope I've provided you value, and hopefully you take these lessons when you're growing your own YouTube channel. This is Joyce-Anne Anthony, aka JJ. Until next time.